So what happens when we hit that last half acre? Things can't just stop dead in their tracks, because capitalism is a system that chases growth and profits, and it will always be driven towards doing backwards and counterproductive things that can be made to look like growth, rather than just accepting defeat, at least at first. We're going to talk about 5 of those things, the first of which is planned obsolescence, which is where industries pivot from making their products better and longer lasting to make them break and become irrelevant faster so that they can sell you another one. Washing machines are a great example of that. Like most other appliances, the companies that build them have a big long-term problem built in from the moment they're invented. Once people see the convenience they provide, everyone who can afford one runs out and buys one. And for a while, you might be able to keep innovating and giving people a reason to ditch their old one because the new one is just that much better. But after a while, these technologies, whether it be refrigerators or washing machines or ovens, all start to hit their peak. Those new features you add to them don't cause people to drop what they're doing and go get the new one like they used to. And then we've got a big old problem, because you've got factories and employees and parts suppliers. You can't just let your sales drop. You gotta find a way to make a market, or your shareholders will remove your company leadership and install someone who can. Which means you need to start selling washers that break faster, and so do all your competitors. And we've all experienced this in some way as consumers. Having something break on us and getting an absolutely absurd quote for it to be fixed. Sometimes a price that's more or less the same as having to buy a new one. I had to replace the washer in my house about a year ago. It broke, and guess what part broke? The computer that this whole category of appliance does not really need. And the cost to replace the computer was going to be more than just getting an old washer that still runs, and nearly the cost of buying a brand new one from the store. So I got an old one from the 90s or 2000s, and it's been running just fine for me. The only place left for washing machines to go as a technology now would be to near perfection. A well-built washer with replaceable parts that's built to last 20 to 30 years on its initial run under warranty, and then indefinitely after that so long as those parts are kept in production. And in the 80s or 90s, we were really almost there. The machines were getting better and more economical to produce and use, with longer lifespans. Bumping up against where that last half acre starts would be a death sentence to the whole appliance industry. The small cluster of large companies that make most appliances know they can't push the quality forward in any real way, because doing so would mean making machines too good to be replaced, which would basically put a timer on the existence of that industry. Once all those companies have realized there's no economical path to better machines, competition just gets limited within that space to 2 main things. Competition over production, like who can manufacture the cheapest, and competition over brand perception. These 2 things are deeply linked, because once they've realized they're technologically at a point where they could build a washer that would hold up for decades, the process that led them to that point, which was how to improve the machine, flips upside down. When they had a washer that could last 5 years, they were trying to improve whatever parts kept breaking so that it would last 10 years, because they knew that some other company would be capable of doing that. It was a race to a longer lifespan, and if you couldn't keep up, you would get outbranded. But once you know you could make a 25-year washer that you could just replace parts on forever, your mindset flips. Before, you were trying to make a better water pump, if that was the thing holding you back from getting a 5-year machine to a 10-year machine. But with a 25-year machine, you want the water pump to break faster. And you want a proprietary pump that you can control the price and supply of. Or maybe you want the water pump to be intractable from the rest of the machine, so that when it breaks, there's nothing you can do about it. One way or the other, all roads lead you towards making repairs and parts replacements difficult or impossible, making the user have to throw away the whole machine and buy a new one. Multiply this across every component in every machine, and you get the over-engineered, excessively computerized, short lifespan disposable appliances that independent maintenance people can't easily repair. The ones you'll find at your local appliance dealer right now. Each of these manufacturers knows that their competitors are all in the same boat. Building something with its real maximum life expectancy would kill their business and the whole industry around them, reducing it to mainly a parts supplier with a much smaller economic footprint. This makes planned obsolescence one common reaction in the economy to bumping up against the last half acre. A recognition that to go further, while better for the consumer, would destroy the industry as a profit-making center. And it's easy to say,
but wouldn't it be better to re-employ all that labor and equipment towards doing something else that opens up new possibilities, rather than assembling the same things over and over just to throw them away?
Because you're right, that would be better. But who gets to decide what's better? In capitalism, capitalists do, and they tend to err on the side of better the devil you know than the one you don't. If they can get away with reproducing the same junk over and over again and keep profiting from it, they're gonna do that every time, overtaking risks on technology that they're not sure will work out, or that they're not sure they can profit from indefinitely in the same kind of way. And this is gonna be a consistent theme in this episode. Profit-minded people love to talk about how risk-taking is what justifies their profits, but it's hard to imagine a more risk-averse group than capitalists.